Hi there and welcome to Channel 12 Sports Jam. I'm Jay Wilcox.
And I'm John Jacobson. The winter sports season is winding down, but still a packed show today with plenty of boys and girls basketball, plus highlights from the state adapted floor hockey tournament.
And Jason Melillo joins us later for a look at the state tournament formats for basketball and hockey.
Let's start with state girls basketball. 4 local schools reached the tournament in 3 classes. 2 of them met for the 4A championship. Osceo's girls were in the tournament for the first time since 2008. And the Orioles met third-seeded White Bear Lake in the 4A quarterfinals. Phyllis Webb, aggressive defense, gets her the steal in the hoop. Osseo leads 39-22 at halftime. Michaela Bailey penetrates and passes to Webb. Her shot off the glass for 2 more. Webb scores 22 in the game. Quick catch and shoot by Aubrey Colbert on the baseline jumper. Then Bailey cans a 3-pointer. Osseo rips White Bear Lake 68-41 to advance.
Hopkins came into the tournament as the top seed. They were challenged for a while in the quarterfinals before pulling away. Brian Cosgriff's team meeting Lakeville North in the opening game. Sydney Coffey drives to the hoop for the layup as the Royals get off to a solid start in this one. TT Starks lobs the pass between defenders to Gracia Hudson, who gathers herself and takes it up for 2. Hopkins goes up 9-2. Nia Coffey takes the pass and drives past the defender before pulling up for the jumper. It's 15-8 Royals, but they lead just 17-12 in a low-scoring first half. The Royals start to pull away after halftime, though. Starks drives and splits the D to score the layup plus a foul. The Royals go up by 7. Taylor Anderson will miss the jumper here, but Aaron O'Toole is there for the rebound and putback as Hopkins dominates the second half to win 51-29. After each team won in the semifinals, it was a matchup between Channel 12 area teams Hopkins and Osseo for the 4A title.
The Royals were shooting for a 4th state championship, the Orioles a 3rd. Good start for Osseo. Olivia Antilla scores her team's first 5 points. Janae Morton hits from Kevin Love 3-point range as the Orioles take an 8-1 lead on Hopkins. But then the Royals turn up the defensive pressure. Anderson gets the steal and cruises to the basket. That gives Hopkins the lead for good. Nia Coffey hits the 15-footer to extend the Royals' lead to 6. She scores 15 points in the game. Starks nice bounce pass to Sydney Coffey for the layup. That caps a 19-0 run for Hopkins. They lead by 16 at the half, 43-27. Second half, Sydney Coffey with a 3. She's fouled on the play as well. She scores 15 points in the game. 4 Hopkins players make the all-tournament team as the Royals celebrate a 2nd straight 4A championship, winning 77-55.
I'm excited. I didn't get to play last year, but I was still a part of the team, cheering them on, jumping up and down. But this year, I got to actually provide for my team and get the ball up, passing, dribble, all that.
Well, Providence Academy lost in the semifinals of the Class 2A tournament a year ago. The Lions wanted to take it one step farther this season. Providence starts the tournament with their 3rd game this year against Minnehaha Academy. Providence controlling the tempo early. Taylor Finley nails the 3. That puts the Lions ahead 9-0. Leah Zabla passes to Anne-Marie Healy, who hits the jumper from the free throw line. The Lions lead the Redhawks 30-15 at the half. Providence moves the ball well and finds the open shooter. Finley with another 3, and the Lions go up by 19. Natalie Ratliff pushes it up court and gets it to Katie Nordic for the layup and foul. Nordic scores 12 in the game. Not too much trouble for Providence in this one. The Lions win big, 60-33. After routing Pequot Lakes in the semis, Providence meets Sauk Centre for the 2A title off a turnover by Sauk Centre. They get it ahead to Finley for the easy layup, and Providence takes a 10-6 lead in a game that is close throughout. The Lions get it inside to Katie Nordic, who powers it up for 2 in traffic to make it 14-all. The Lions trail 22-17, though, at halftime. Sauk Centre leads for much of the second half. Jenna Klophockey's 3-pointer puts the Main Streeters up 35-31. But a huge sequence here for Providence. The dish to Nordic, and she gets the layup to put them up 38-36, plus a foul. On the ensuing free throw, Anne-Marie Healy gets the offensive rebound and scores for a 4-point lead. Providence rallies to win 46-40 for their first title, and the schedule dotted with 3A and 4A teams helped the Lions be ready for a pressure-packed ending.
You know, they just give us different looks, and so I think that just playing so many different teams. It was just great just to be able to see different styles of play and just test us and like show us areas where we had to pick it up and brush up. So it was really, really great just to see so many different teams this year.
In Class A, Maranatha Christian Academy of Brooklyn Park aimed for back-to-back titles. The Mustangs met Isle in the quarterfinals at Williams Arena. Oni Yosemite has a big game for MCA. She takes the pass from Josie Taggart's Ott and scores for an early 4-0 lead. Alexis Long taking the pass here at the top of the key. She'll drive the lane and score to put MCA up 5. They lead by 8 at halftime, 38-30. Second half, Ann Yosemite goes back to work inside, banking in 2 more of her 25 points. Maranatha leads by 14. Taggart's Ott hits the runner for the Mustangs. They keep their double-digit lead on the Huskies. Maranatha isn't challenged much in this one. The Mustangs cruise to a 60-33 win. Maranatha slipped past Spring Grove in the semifinals and faced Mountain Iron Buell in the 1A title game. They work the handoff play from the high post. Lexi Long getting the left-handed layup on her way to a 15-point game. Mustangs shoot the ball well beyond the arc once again. Lexi Lee nails this one. Jim Hammond's team up 23-17 at halftime. Mountain Iron Buell plays well early in the second half. Kathy Osman with the layup, and it's 25 all. Maranatha grabs the lead back. Jordan Myers' layup makes it 35-29. Yosemite is tough to stop. This hoop puts Maranatha up 7. And for the second straight year, the Mustangs are state champions, winning 49-37. Mustangs were really put to the test in their last 2 games, especially in the semifinals.
The last game for sure was really like, neck and neck, and we were like, oh my, it's really exciting at the same time, kind of like, like we really, want to win this, but I don't know, I'm just really grateful that we, to God, that we won this all, and that, I don't know, we're even to like be in these games, that he even gave us the chance to be in these games, so. But it was really fun, really fun.
John, that's a lot of girls basketball right there, some great teams.
Yeah, great weeks for all of our teams, 3 state champions, and although they lost in the final, Osseo, I think, can feel good about second place. Still to come on Sports Jam, highlights from Section Final boys basketball, plus state-adapted floor hockey. Welcome back to Sports Jam, and time to talk boys basketball.
And starting with the Section 5 4A Championship, Osseo and Champlain Park have been good teams in this section, and they meet up again. Osseo looking to repeat as section champ. DJ Abear intercepts the Rebels' pass and gets it ahead to Bridge Tussler for the layup, but foul trouble limits Tussler to 2 first-half points. Not a real artistic game in this one, but here's one. The lob to Brian Gachaba for the big jam for Osseo as they take the lead. JT Gibson pops a 3 for the Rebels from the corner as they try to get some offense going against Osseo's tough D. Abear nails the 3 from the right side. He scores 15, and the Orioles are up 23-17 at halftime. The Rebels see their deficit expand. Tussler gets into the lane, and he'll take it up for 2. He scores 9 in the second half, and Osseo goes up 29-19. The Rebels stay just close enough to keep it interesting. Gibson with the steal, and he sets up Trevor Garrison for the transition layup, and the Rebels are within 8. Anthony Hill has to work for his points all night long. He scores 10 all in the second half. The Rebels still trailing it by 9. Osseo makes enough plays to hold the lead. Will Johnson gets the layup on the press break as the Orioles are headed back to state with a 50-40 win, and we will hear from Osseo later in the show.
In Section 6 of Class 4A, Hopkins needed to beat Edina in the final to get a shot at a 4th straight state championship. Highlights from the title game at Osseo. Hopkins tough on the offensive boards. Nick Jorgensen and Stefan Sharp with the rebounds. Sharp with the hoop, making it 14-10 Hopkins. More second chance points here for the Royals. Jorgensen gets it to Siani Chambers for the 3. And the Royals are up by 8. They lead by 9 at the half. Second half, Edina's Derek Hill drives, then dishes to Reggie Lynch, who throws down the sweet reverse jam. Edina rallies to tie the game. But Hopkins then goes on a scoring run. Jacob Wright hits a big 3 from the corner. And then it's Demetrius Martin driving baseline. He'll kick it out to right for another three. He and Chambers combined for 41 points. As Hopkins heads to state for a fourth year in a row with their senior guard leading the way.
Trying to do something to help my team win, you know, either make a pass or make a play for myself. They didn't stop me on the break, so I went all the way. But if they would have stopped me on the pass, my teammates, Jake, Demetrius, Jamal, everybody that came in played a big part of this game, and everybody hit big shots and played a key role in this win.
Hopkins earned the #1 seed for the 4A tournament. The Royals meet Woodbury in the state quarterfinals Wednesday morning at 10 at the Target Center. The Section 6 3A boys basketball final featured the top 2 teams in the state in Class 3A. #1 Benilde St. Margaret's face second-ranked Minneapolis Washburn for a spot at state. To the highlights, Benilde Sanjay Lumpkin out to Isaiah Zierden for the three-pointer, and it's 19-12 Benilde. Nick Anderson answers with a triple for the Millers. He scores a dozen points in the game. Benilde leads 31-28 at halftime, but Washburn comes out flying to start the second half. Dejan Davis, nice crossover dribble, driving and scoring there. And then Nick Anderson and Dwight Anderson. Dwight finishing and 16-4 run for the Millers as they take the lead. The Red Knights come back. Isaiah Gray with a great drive and basket. He had 15 points in the game. Then Zierden shakes his defender, hits the long two. It's 63-61 Red Knights with 2 minutes to play. But Jerry Pratt takes over for Washburn. Triple teamed underneath, still scores off the glass. Millers are up 2. Then Pratt gets loose with a windmill jam. He leads all scorers with 20 points as Washburn wins 71-66, ending Benilde's season.
Well, playing for a section championship is nothing new for teams like Hopkins and Osseo. It was a new experience for 2 small school teams in the area. Heritage and Prairie Seeds meeting for the Section 4A title. Early first half, Brad Basco behind the back dribble. He scores for Heritage. They go up 7-2. The Lycans respond though. Troy May Jr. hits a three-pointer from the wing. It's 20-18 PSA. The Eagles not too bad from long range either. Cole Peterson strokes the baseline tray. Heritage leads 23-20 at halftime. It's tight all the way through the second half. Just over 3 minutes to go. A wild play. Daniel Lightoll eventually comes up with the loose ball and he scores plus a foul, and it's 47-42 Eagles. Less than a minute left. Prairie Seeds down 3. Devin Buckley hits a clutch three-pointer, ties it at 51, and we're going to overtime. Christian Pieper nails the 3 for Heritage. They lead 55-52 on that hoop. But the Lycans prevail in this one. Jackson is quick to the hoop and he hits the tough shot to make it 59-57 Prairie Seeds. And Buckley hits a jumper with a hand in his face. Prairie Seeds wins at 68-63. A hard-fought section tournament for the Lycans, which could help them at state.
We've learned that mental toughness that it takes, you know, to overcome the obstacles of being down and fighting back and getting up. So I think we'll do good. As long as we stay positive and stay poised, we'll be all right.
The Lycans now meet Rushford Peterson in the Class A quarterfinals. That game tips off at 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon at Williams Arena. Well, the state-adapted floor hockey crowned 2 familiar champions over the weekend.
In the PI division, Robbinsdale Hopkins Mountain West Tonka was shooting for a second straight unbeaten season. Robbins faced Dakota United in the state title game. Robbins' Mike Madsen to Tyler Sarf, who backhands in the goal for the Robins. Grayson Nicolay answers for Dakota. It's 2-1 Robbins after 1. Sarf wins the race to the loose puck and sets up Joe Dubasar for the goal to keep the Robins in front. Nicolay drills another long wrist shot for the Hawks, cutting the lead to 4-2. In the third period, Andy Matson sends a knuckle puck top corner to make it 6-2 Robins. They go on to win 7-2. The Robins are state champions for a second straight year.
This team having the mentality, they're going to come in, they're going to play their game and have fun with it, and good things will happen. Really carried them all season long, and it really came out in this tournament. They just, you know, they knew they were good, they knew they could compete with anybody, but they had to play their game. And when they were playing their game, they were tough to beat.
Well, an Okehennepin CI division team was seeking a 3rd straight title in floor hockey. The Mustangs taking on St. Cloud in the final. Zach Thoreau pops in a rebound for a goal that makes it 2-0 Mustangs. Thoreau then centers to Tyler Kurkowski, and he buries the one-timer. It's a big game for the senior. Kurkowski scores again with another hard snapshot, and it's 4-0 Anoka Hennepin. Kurkowski scores 4 goals in the first period by himself. Anoka Hennepin rolls to the title, winning 13-3. They finished the season with a perfect 16-0 record.
And congratulations to the Mustangs and to the Robins on their state titles.
Yeah, both programs were state champs in the fall, too, in adapted soccer. Dynasty, the word being thrown around here. Right. Next up in our Sports Jam Spotlight, what can be done to add more excitement to the state tournaments in basketball and hockey? We'll talk to some coaches about that next.
The state hockey tournaments and girls basketball state tournament are in the books, and this weekend the winter sports season comes to a close with the boys basketball state tournament.
And all of this playoff excitement got Jason Melillo thinking about the postseason structure of high school sports in Minnesota, and Jason joins us now.
Yeah, you know, guys, I started thinking about this story in terms of an overall championship. You know, in other words, after state champions were decided in each class, maybe having 1 or 2 more games to determine an ultimate champion. Now, playing for an overall championship would not work for every sport. Football, for example, where numbers and ultimately depth play such a vital role. But in sports like hockey, basketball, soccer, where numbers are less crucial, crowning an overall champion could add another level of excitement to the postseason, and that's where we start this report.
The Benilde St. Margaret's boys hockey team capped an emotional season by winning the state title.
You just feel like you have a gift of a moment that you can't put words to.
Behind 5 goals by Grant Bessie, Benilde beat Hill Murray to win the Class AA championship. But what if the state title game was not the end of the Red Knights season? What if there was one more game? A sort of winner-takes-all match against Class A champion St. Thomas Academy.
I would have loved that. I mean, you know, when you win that victory, you know, the state championship, I mean, a bunch of the guys are saying, I mean, what's next? I mean, you think now that you won, you think you're going to go on. So, you know, to have one more game, I think that'd be pretty cool.
The formula would work for basketball, too, which has 4 classes. The champions of each class would go into a Final Four and battle it out to determine the overall champion.
I think that would be really fun. We played some of those bigger Class 1A or 4A champions last year with Hopkins, GSL, and it's really fun to compete against the best of the best, so I think that'd be really cool to see.
Most of the players we talked to like the idea of crowning an overall champion, but coaches are skeptical.
A lot of these small schools wouldn't have a chance. We played Maple Grove, they beat us by 4. Burnsville beat us by 7. I'm just saying there's a big, I don't care what anyone says, there's a big difference between the small schools and the big schools.
What coaches are intrigued by is a playoff format similar to college basketball's March Madness.
As far as the 4AA, I think without a doubt the 64 team seeding is the way to go. I mean, I don't know many people that do not like that. I think it creates excitement, it creates parity.
For the big schools, the 64 big schools, the big idea and the big proposal would be to get everybody into one NCAA format and go with that route. Little schools, they can still do what they choose to do, but I think for at least for the 4A schools, it would add that new excitement that we're looking for.
It'd just be more exciting for fans and players and people who like basketball. To go to that 64. I know as a coach, I would enjoy it. I would like it. It brings in a level of excitement to the whole tournament.
The class system ostensibly levels the playing field, matching schools of similar size against each other. And for the most part, it works. But there's a rub. Sometimes the best games might never get played. The best athletes might never face each other. The system doesn't need to be torn down and rebuilt. Maybe just tweaked a bit.
I don't think people should be against it just because it hasn't been done. You know, things have been done since the 1920s or probably earlier than that, and it's almost like they think that everybody should stay that way. You know, life has changed, and I mean, you got to change with it.
Now, again, I started thinking about this, like I said, ultimate championship, you know, class against class. I still think that's a good idea, specifically for hockey and soccer, which only have 2 classes. Now, as you saw, a lot of basketball coaches don't think that's a good idea, but the 64-team field could be intriguing.
One of the formats I like, they tried for only 2 years in the mid-'90s was the Sweet 16 for basketball, where they had, but that was before the 4 classes. They had 2 classes, they mixed them. Right. I think it worked well. Enough people didn't like it, though. They abandoned that.
And it's funny because it's one thing we heard from basketball coaches is that maybe 4 classes is too many. You know, in other words, maybe they go back to 2 classes. You have, you know, what's Class 3 and Class 4 now. That'd be one 64-team field. With Class 1 and 2, that'd be another 64-team field. Do it that way because can 1 really compete with 4? Probably not. 1 and 2, maybe. 3 and 4, maybe. Maybe that would work a little better.
Interesting. All right. Well, something to think about before next season. And we'll hear more about the 64. That's still a possibility for next year.
It is, and there's been a formal proposal to the State High School League, so it's in the works now.
All right, thanks very much, Jason. Next up in our Sports Jam interview, Jays talks boys basketball with Osio's Orioles. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. The final winter tournament of the year is the boys basketball tournament, and the Osseo Orioles in it for the 7th time in school history. We're joined by Coach Tim Tyson and also DJ Hebert. And DJ, how exciting is it to, as a senior, get back into that state tournament again for a 2nd straight year?
I really don't think it's, one player. It's definitely a team effort. Tyson instilling us to work hard, purpose, pride, and having a purpose, pride, and poise. That's what he always tells us to do. And, this is an ugly game, so, I think those 3 things really helped us win because it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, Champlin Park, I mean, it was just one of those battles. I said you could tell that these teams knew each other really well because you were able to take what each other wanted to do away. But those are the type of games you have to kind of scrap through, right?
Exactly. He had the perfect, game plan coming into this game, and, for Champlin to, rebound, when he said the #1 key is the rebound, you kind of know that they really want it. And it sucks that team with that kind of attitude and that kind of effort don't get to go to the state tournament because they definitely deserve the way they played tonight. But that just goes to show, rivalry, it really doesn't matter what the records are.
You guys have had a nice season coming into this. Are you happy with the way things have gone all the way up to this point?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're in state. That's what you want to do. And, when we go in the state tournament, we all expect to win. We're not scared of anybody. And, just like how I said, we haven't really played a lot of the teams in the state tournament. So, it'll be new for everybody. So I think that's our advantage.
Champlin Park was one of the teams that beat you. You avenged that loss twice. Yep. The other one was Hopkins. Would you like a shot at them again?
Oh, definitely, especially because I know a lot of those guys over there, Hopkins is definitely beatable. If we do what we do, play a good game, we expect to win.
All right, congratulations on the section title and have fun at state.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, DJ Hebert and Coach Tim Tyson. Was definitely not an easy way to get to the state tournament, and you expected that, but do you like the way your kids kind of stayed together down the stretch and held that lead?
Yeah, DJ kind of hit on a couple things. We stress 3 things always in a game. Purpose, play with the purpose, play with poise, and play with pride. A couple times we lost our composure, we lost our poise a little bit, and when we went into the huddle, the kids talked about that. Hey, let's play with poise. Let's kind of get things settled back down, and that says a lot about our senior leadership. And we have 8 quality seniors that give us everything every day in practice, every game, and those are the kids that had the experience from last year, and they kind of willed our way to a win here tonight.
Certainly some good teams in the state this year, but what do you think of your chances? Is this a team that has a shot to take on the first place trophy rather than 3rd that you got last year?
Yeah, you know what? We're happy with what happened, with the 3rd place trophy. We ended our season on a positive note. This year, I think we got all the ingredients. We got the size, we got some muscle, we got the athletes, and we need to step up and hit shots come state tournament time. And that's what we have. We have kids that can do that. So, it's a one game series from here on out. You win the first game, you play another day. And that's what we're going to stress to our kids. We made it back to the state tournament. Going back-to-back is pretty tough. And I applaud our kids for their effort overall.
A good share of your players, of course, played in that tournament last year. How much will that help?
I think it helped out a lot tonight. You saw down in the crunch time, their shots didn't tend to fall. Our free throws towards the end today, in the last 2.5 minutes, went in. I thought them being in that situation last year, being under the lights, playing in front of 5,000 to 6,000 people, did help them out tonight.
Congratulations on another section title, Tim. Have fun in the state tournament.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tim Tyson, the head coach of the Osseo boys basketball team, one of 3 local teams to advance to the state tournament. And we'll leave you with a look at where the Orioles will play in their quarterfinal game. Well, before we go, we want to welcome these special guests who watch today's show, 5th graders at Sunset Hill Elementary in Plymouth.
Thanks for watching Sports Jam. Next week, state boys basketball, plus our all-area teams in basketball and hockey. See you then.